I used to think that at 78, the path forward was all about treading carefully, cut out anything that felt too adventurous, stick to a quiet routine, and settle into the inevitable slowing down that comes with getting older. But let me share something surprising. Making a small change, specifically introducing a CoQ10 supplement, turned into a big boost for my energy levels and my heart's well-being. I know it might sound like one of those quick fixes you see on TV, and you're probably shaking your head thinking, here we go again? Trust me, I felt the same way. I've tried plenty of health fads over the years, and I've seen them come and go. Yet the more I learned about CoQ10, the more I realized it's not some pie-in-the-sky miracle. It's a naturally occurring compound in our bodies that supports the heart's muscle strength and energy production. If you're in your 60s or 70s, or even beyond, you've likely felt that moment when climbing stairs starts getting tougher, or those evening walks don't feel as enjoyable as they once were. And then there are the heart concerns. Maybe you've been prescribed a medication for cholesterol or high blood pressure, and you wonder if there's something more you could be doing for heart health. That was me not long ago. I was worried I'd lose the active lifestyle that kept me feeling independent. After all, every time I'd talk to friends or family, there was this feeling in the air that slowing down was normal, that maybe I should just accept lower energy and more aches. But accepting that felt almost like giving up. Addressing heart health matters so deeply because it's about staying connected to life. It's about having enough energy to enjoy the things we love, whether that's tending our gardens, playing with grandchildren, or even just walking around the block without feeling winded. For me, the idea of being dependent on someone else to do my grocery shopping or push my wheelchair at a family outing pushed me to explore every reasonable avenue to keep my heart as strong as possible. That's how CoQ10 first came to my attention, through a friend who swore by its benefits. Instead of dismissing her experience, I dug in to learn more. I'm no doctor, and I don't hand out medical advice, but I've spent a lot of time reading reputable articles, talking with my healthcare team, and testing small changes in my daily routine. The journey led me to 3 key revelations about how CoQ10 could offer an extra edge for heart health. Revelations that completely shifted my mindset from resignation to renewed hope. I'm eager to share what I discovered because I believe it can help others who may be feeling the same uncertainty I once had. Over the next few minutes, I'd like to walk you through these 3 eye-opening insights, ones that helped me strengthen my heart and regain a level of energy I thought was gone for good. We'll talk about common misunderstandings around aging and heart health, take a closer look at why our bodies sometimes need nutritional support beyond what we get from diet alone, and explore practical steps you can consider if you're curious about trying something like CoQ10. By the end of this conversation, my goal is that you walk away with a spark of optimism and a few tangible ideas you can discuss with your own healthcare provider or loved ones. And I'd love for you to join the discussion. Let me know if, at any point, you've tried something similar or heard conflicting information, because sharing personal stories is how we all learn and grow together. You have decades of wisdom under your belt, and your insights are just as important as any expert's voice. So stick around, and let's explore how one little change could shift the way you feel about your heart health. Now, when I first started looking into supplements like CoQ10, I had more than a few doubts. After all, for decades, we've been told a well-balanced diet is enough. Why add anything else? So my first discovery was that it's not always so simple. It turns out many of us have been under the impression that if we just eat our fruits and veggies and take our daily walk, our hearts will have everything they need. Of course, good nutrition and exercise matter, but here's where the misconception comes in. As we age, our bodies might not produce or absorb certain nutrients as effectively as before. CoQ10 is one of those nutrients. It plays a key role in energy production at the cellular level, especially important for the heart, which never gets a moment's rest. But around our 60s and 70s, natural levels can start to decline. If you pair that with certain medications that deplete CoQ10 further, the gap between what our bodies need and what we can realistically get from diet alone may widen. I remember talking to Anita, a lively 72-year-old who volunteers at our community center. She was puzzled. I eat well, I still play tennis twice a week, but my energy just isn't there anymore. And my doctor just bumped up my medication for cholesterol. Anita felt like she was doing everything right, yet her stamina and overall heart function seemed to be slipping. She found out that her cholesterol medication, which is common for people our age, could sometimes reduce CoQ10 levels in the body. When she added a CoQ10 supplement, of course, after talking with her healthcare provider, she noticed she wasn't getting as fatigued during her tennis matches. Now, this isn't a magic bullet. Nobody's saying CoQ10 alone can transform your heart overnight. But if you're on medication that's known to affect CoQ10, there's a strong possibility that supplementing might help close the gap. The physical benefit? Possibly more consistent energy, less of that drained feeling when you climb stairs or do light chores. Emotionally, it can restore a sense of control because it reminds you that you're not powerless against the aging process. So, what are some practical steps if you suspect you might be short on CoQ10? Start with a conversation. Ask your doctor if your current medications might deplete this enzyme. Keep a symptom journal for a week or two, noting fatigue levels, muscle aches, or changes in stamina. Then if your doctor gives the green light, begin with a modest dose of CoQ10 and observe how you feel over a few weeks. Make adjustments under medical supervision. It's also wise to consider a balanced approach. Supplements like CoQ10 are most effective when paired with nutrient-dense meals, regular movement, and stress management. One simple way to integrate a CoQ10 supplement is to take it with a meal containing some healthy fats, like avocado or a drizzle of olive oil, because it's better absorbed that way. This small detail might sound trivial, but for many seniors, the difference in absorption can be significant. And remember, this is about subtle shifts over time, not dramatic leaps. If you maintain a gentle walking routine, maybe up your step count gradually, keep your stress in check, and explore healthy foods. All these efforts work in tandem with a supplement. I'm curious, how many of you have been prescribed any medications that your doctor said might affect your energy levels or muscle function? Has anyone talked to you about how to address it? It's an important conversation that often gets overlooked. As I continued learning, I stumbled on my second big revelation. Heart health isn't just physical, and CoQ10's role in energy might support our mental and emotional well-being more than we realize. Conventional wisdom tells us that feeling blue or experiencing mental fatigue is just something that happens when we get older, especially if we have heart concerns. Yet think about this. Your heart is central not just physically, but it also influences how we feel day to day. If you constantly battle low energy, you might start skipping social outings or hobbies that require even moderate exertion. This can lead to isolation, which is a big predictor of emotional struggles in seniors. I recall talking to George, who's 80, a retired teacher with the biggest passion for reading and discussing philosophy. He used to lead a weekly book club at the local library, but over time he felt drained. "It's like my brain is in a fog," he confided. "I get home from my doctor's appointments, and I have zero drive to do anything, let alone organize our reading sessions." He assumed it was just normal aging, but a closer look revealed George's heart medication was affecting his overall energy production, likely lowering his CoQ10 levels. Even though George didn't have the typical symptoms you might associate with heart health, like chest pain or extreme shortness of breath, he was feeling an ongoing sense of fatigue that dampened his emotional health. When he introduced CoQ10, alongside some adjustments to his daily routine, like short afternoon walks and limiting sugary snacks, he noticed a gradual lift. It wasn't like flipping a switch, but within a month or so, George found the stamina to continue his reading club, and with that came renewed confidence and connection with friends. That's a crucial emotional benefit. Anything that gives you back a sense of purpose can ignite a brighter outlook on life. If you're skeptical, I understand. After all, there's a lot of hype around supplements, and everyone is looking for that magic pill. But think of CoQ10 more like a key that helps unlock the energy your body's already capable of generating. When that key goes missing or is in short supply, the rest of your systems can lag, both physically and emotionally. By potentially restoring some of that missing link, you might feel more like joining a neighbor for a walk or getting back to the activities you've always loved. If you're considering this idea, start small. Keep a simple checklist. How many social interactions do you have in a week? Are you feeling motivated to pursue your hobbies, or are you finding excuses to stay home? Also, make sure you're fueling your body with nutritious foods, whole grains, lean proteins, vibrant fruits and vegetables, to give those CoQ10 molecules something good to work with. Then as you ease in, see if your mood or participation in life's activities starts to shift. Checking in with yourself is key. Are you feeling less drained in the evening? Do you catch yourself smiling a bit more when you wake up? These are subtle signs of improvement that often go overlooked when we fixate on dramatic changes. I'd love for you to think about how much your energy level and heart health affect the emotional side of your life. Are there any small goals or social activities you've been putting off because you just don't have the energy? Sometimes even setting a tiny goal, like calling an old friend or picking up a craft you enjoyed, can be the first step in a positive direction. My third discovery came when I realized that CoQ10's role in heart health is closely tied to long-term independence, a factor all of us care about deeply. Many seniors see independence as the defining aspect of a good quality of life. It's that feeling of knowing you can walk to the mailbox, cook your own meals, or even take a short trip without constantly worrying about your heart acting up. There's a common assumption that after a certain age, especially if you have heart issues, you should minimize physical activity and errands, letting others do the heavy lifting. This approach is well-intentioned. Family and friends want to help. But ironically, staying too idle can weaken your heart further because it thrives on healthy movement and circulation. CoQ10, as part of a heart-friendly regimen, might offer a boost that supports stamina, enabling you to stay active longer. Let me share Rose's story. She's 76 and lives alone after her spouse passed away. She worried that climbing stairs or carrying groceries might be too strenuous for her heart, especially since she was on multiple medications. She started relying on deliveries for groceries, and her son took over most of her errands. Over time, her confidence dropped, and she found herself hesitant to leave the house, except for doctor's appointments. Rose's doctor recommended moderate exercise, a short daily walk with rest stops in a simple stretching routine. The doctor also suggested looking into a supplement strategy, including CoQ10, to support her overall energy production. Rose, unsure at first, decided to give it a try. She started tracking her activity levels in a small journal, noting her heart rate and fatigue. Slowly but steadily, she noticed she could walk a bit farther. She began to do light housework on her own. Her heart rate stayed more stable, and emotionally she felt proud of these small wins. This story isn't about CoQ10 magically enabling her to climb a mountain. Rather, it's about a nudge that helped Rose maintain just enough extra energy to keep up with daily tasks and restore her sense of independence. With consistent practice, Rose became more confident in her body's ability to support her. Emotionally, she was far less anxious, which itself can be beneficial for heart health. This sense of autonomy might be one of the biggest gifts we can give ourselves in our later years. Knowing we're still capable of taking care of our basic needs and even enjoying a few adventures along the way. When you pair something like CoQ10 with gentle exercise, like short walks, water aerobics, or even chair yoga, you're essentially giving your heart the tools to perform at its best level, whatever that may be for you. The synergy between nutrition, supplementation, if indicated by your doctor, and movement can create a strong foundation for sustaining day-to-day independence. It's important, however, to approach this in balance. Too much strenuous activity can be counterproductive if you have certain heart conditions. That's why tailoring a plan with your healthcare provider is so critical. But the overarching point is that total inactivity often spirals into further weakness. Finding that middle ground, supported by tools like a CoQ10 supplement, can help you stay as active as feels comfortable. Before we move on, I'd like to ask, how many of you feel a tug-of-war between wanting to stay active and being afraid of overexertion? It's a common dilemma, and discussing it with a trusted professional or even a supportive friend can clarify how to move forward safely. Now, as we wrap up these insights, let's bring everything together. I started out skeptical, wondering if a supplement like CoQ10 was just another overblown trend. But through personal research, conversations with my doctor, and observing others' experiences, I found that it holds meaningful potential for seniors looking to bolster their heart health. Let's recap the key ideas we've covered. First, we often assume a reasonably healthy diet is all we need. But age and medications can disrupt our natural CoQ10 levels, affecting heart function and overall energy. Second, maintaining good heart health isn't just physical. It significantly influences our emotional well-being. Low energy often leads to social withdrawal, which can dampen our spirits. A little support in the energy department can help keep us engaged with life. And third, feeling strong enough to handle day-to-day tasks underpins our independence. When we offer our hearts the extra support they might need, we're essentially investing in our ability to stay self-sufficient as we age. If you're feeling a bit intrigued, that's great. Don't let the spark die. This isn't about fear or urgency in a negative sense, but it is about recognizing that every day matters. Our hearts work 24/7 for us. Why not give them the best environment possible? Having a conversation with your healthcare provider about CoQ10 or about any supplement can be a powerful step. Maybe you come away realizing it's not the right fit for you, or maybe you see it as a promising addition to your current plan. Either way, you're taking charge and being proactive. Picture yourself a few months down the line. Maybe you have a bit more stamina during your daily activities, or you notice that those minor chores don't leave you as winded. Perhaps you even find yourself more enthusiastic about small social gatherings, like a potluck at your community center or a coffee date with a friend. These scenarios are well within reach, especially when you combine a thoughtful supplement strategy with a mindful approach to exercise, nutrition, and stress relief. If you're ready for a small step, start by keeping a daily log of your energy levels and any heart-related symptoms. Next, ask your doctor if your medications or conditions might be affecting your natural CoQ10 levels. If they give you the go-ahead, try a modest dose of CoQ10 for a few weeks and continue tracking how you feel. If everything lines up, consider increasing your physical activity at a pace that feels comfortable. Maybe an extra 5 minutes of walking or gentle stretching. These small, cumulative steps can help you gauge whether you're on the right track. For those of you who are more cautious, the first level of engagement might be simply doing more research. Read a reputable health article or check a trusted website on senior heart health. Bring your questions to your next medical appointment. If you're someone who likes to share, maybe tell a friend who's also dealing with heart health concerns about what you've learned. Often, having a buddy in these endeavors keeps us accountable and motivated. Whether you decide to explore CoQ10 right away or simply use this information to ask better questions at your next checkup, remember, you have a wealth of life experience and your body has carried you through countless challenges and joys. Adding a tool like CoQ10, if it's suitable, could be just one more way to keep you doing the things that matter. You're still in the driver's seat. This is about giving yourself a better roadmap. The bottom line is that none of us want to just get by. We want to thrive, to wake up feeling that we have a purpose and the energy to pursue it, whatever that looks like in this season of life. Considering something like a CoQ10 supplement is simply another avenue to explore, another possibility for staying active and engaged. You've taken a big step just by being open to new information and reflecting on how it applies to your life. I hope you walk away feeling a sense of opportunity, not pressure. Your heart is a resilient, powerful organ, and even in our later years, there are ways to support it that aren't overly complicated. You deserve a future that includes the freedom to move, the motivation to connect with others, and the confidence that comes from knowing you're doing what you can for your health. Embrace the chance to learn and adapt. That's something we can do at any age. And if you found value in these perspectives, consider sharing them with someone else who might benefit, a friend, a family member, or even your healthcare team. We never know whose life might change just from hearing a story that resonates. In the end, it's not about chasing a fountain of youth. It's about making informed, empowered decisions so we can savor the moments we have. If exploring a CoQ10 supplement feels right for you, go for it with caution and professional guidance. If not, keep seeking the steps that will help you protect and nourish your heart. You have agency in this process. Your choices, your questions, and your willingness to adapt can lead to a healthier, more fulfilling life. And I, for one, can't wait to see how this newfound hope and opportunity blossoms for you, one day at a time.